Shalom. I'd like to give all praises to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. 2 Esdras, chapter 15, verses 16 through 18. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings or princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and the men shall be afraid.
A city under siege. At least 24 cars set on fire in Tijuana, Mexico Friday night. The U.S. consulate warned Americans to avoid the area and shelter in place until further notice. The mayor announced 3,000 armed police and military personnel responded to the incidents. She assured a message is being sent to organized crime not to attack innocent working citizens. The federal government today announcing the arrest of 17 people, 3 identified as members of the Jalisco New Generation cartel. It's just the latest in a string of violent attacks throughout Mexico. A prison riot in Juarez killed 11 on Thursday, burnt out buses and cars seen in Jalisco and Guanajuato too. Back in Tijuana, tens of thousands were attending 2 nearby events while the violence broke out: the Baja Beach Music Festival and a professional soccer match.
So we started walking.
American Daniel Morales was there.
What was going through your head, or describe what that was like?
Well, it's I don't know. It's the first time I see something like this in Tijuana. Grew up there. It's just incredible. I saw a bus, like a public transport bus, that was set on fire.
Americans now caught in the middle of a deadly power struggle. Guad Venegas, NBC News.
Brothers, and even if you notice here, there's another story here, right beneath the video I just played. It says, chaos in Baja California. U.S. government employees told to shelter in place. Right? Okay? We have to understand that we're approaching the end times, and we're going to see more and more situations like this occur. Let's come out of this video here and let's jump right back into the scriptures. As it states in 2 Esdras, there should be sedition among men. You know, even Yahushua prophesied about this in Luke chapter 21, verse 26. And it states, people will faint from terror, apprehensive of what is coming on the world, for the heavenly bodies will be shaken. And those heavenly bodies are talking about us, right? Because aren't we made in the image and the likeness of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? We come down to the King James Version, because it says, men's heart will fail them from fear. You got to understand something. When you see something like this, let me rewind this back. Let me go to the actual video. And even just looking at that thumbnail there, you know, men were afraid. Trust me, you know. I got another video I'm going to play toward the end that goes into the actual cause, what sparked this entire situation. But let's continue to stick with the scriptures, because even as it's prophesied in Amos, the day of the Lord will be as similar as this situation here was, right? And it reads, it will be as though a man fled from a lion only to meet a bear, as though he entered in his house and rested his hand on the wall only to have a snake bite him. Meaning there's going to be situations unimaginable occurring at every instance, right? Let's go from there to Zechariah. And we all know when all of this starts to occur, it's the Lord bringing prophecy to pass. He's bringing everything into fruition. Zechariah chapter 14, verse 13. On that day, right, people will be stricken by the Lord with great panic. Remember in Luke, it just says men's heart will be failing them because of fear. They will seize each other by the hand and attack one another, right? Remember from that news report, it stated that they were attacking everyone, right? Let's go from there. Let's go to Isaiah. We get it again in Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 5. And it states, people will oppress each other, a man against man, neighbor against neighbor. The young will rise up against the old, the nobody against the honored. Okay, so when you go through these precepts, we read about the end times, prophecy being fulfilled. You should these things shouldn't come to you as a surprise. It should only make you more aware. You should have a heightened sense of awareness that the end is coming. Right? Let's go from there. Let's look at Isaiah chapter 8, verse 22. As we'll see in this next video here, they will look, pardon me, toward the earth and see only distress and darkness and fearful gloom, as they will be thrust into outer darkness. And the outer darkness, that's twofold, meaning if you're not seeking the Lord, you're understanding what we put into outer darkness, meaning you won't comprehend what the hell's going on. Because those of us in the knowledge and the truth, we know that this wisdom and the knowledge will be the stability of our times. Then also outer darkness means there's going to be so much hell going on, you're not going to know, left from right, up from down, right? Let's get into this next video here. Let me wind this back a second. Now they get into more detail on what occurred and what initiated this violence, but just listen to everything they have to say, right? It's 3 minutes, so I'm gonna let everything play completely through. Let's jump right into it.
We begin in the ABC 7 Alert Center with that breaking news. Our top story tonight, terror in Juarez. Several acts of violence have our sister city on high alert tonight. Many of the attacks have been against convenience stores and gas stations. They all happened around the same time this afternoon, right after a deadly fight inside a Juarez prison. This is video from our news partners at Channel 44. This is a convenience store that was burned down. Channel 44 is reporting a group of people threw Molotov cocktails at the business with people inside. 2 women were killed, including an employee, and someone was there to apply for a job. Juarez News Media.
Hold on for a second, brothers. I know I said I was going to let this play, but can you imagine eating at a restaurant, being in the business, and someone throws Molotov cocktails in there while you're in there? Okay, one person's in there applying for a damn job, man. See, brothers, as we get closer to the end, that's going to be confusion, chaos, murder in all places. We have to be prepared for this, right?
Media also reporting at least one of them was pregnant. There are reports of at least 6 convenience stores being set on fire today.
And Eric, there have also been several shootings at gas stations and convenience stores across Juarez, like this one at a Circle K. At least 4 men were shot, but officials have not said how they're doing tonight. There have been numerous other attacks with groups opening fire on people while they were fueling up and buying items. Because of the violence, most major convenience stores in Juarez closed their doors today, including Oxxos, De Rios, and Superettes. Juarez officials have not revealed the total number of deaths and injuries tonight.
El Diario de Juarez is also reporting an attack at a Little Caesars where 4 employees from Mega Radio were killed, including a popular radio personality, Alan Gonzalez.
And as we said a moment ago, all of that violence happened after 3 people were killed and at least 20 were injured during a fight between rival gangs inside a Juarez prison.
However, officials have not said if that is related to the attacks against those convenience stores. Channel 44 got this video from outside the prison. Hundreds of family members of inmates were there waiting to hear from officials about whether their loved ones were hurt.
Several of them got impatient and even knocked down a fence and broke into the parking lot, but they couldn't get in any farther than that. Juarez officials say the fight between the gangs broke out around 1 p.m. today, and it was between members of the Mexicles and Chapos. Officials say during the fight, about 200 inmates got into restricted areas of the prison and disarmed 2 guards, and gang members opened fire against their rivals.
2 of the 3 victims killed have been identified as inmates. The other victim has not been identified. Officials also have not said if the 20 people who were injured were all inmates. About 700 prison workers, lawyers, and visitors were evacuated from the facility.
The Juarez prison, also known as 2Edrass, is in the southern part of the city. Authorities say it took police from the local, state, and federal level to regain control of the facility. Even the military was involved.
Due to the violence tonight, the University of Juarez and other schools are canceling in-person classes tomorrow. ABC 7 photojournalist and reporter Heriberto Perez even called our producer tonight. He lives in Juarez and says he hasn't stopped hearing police sirens for hours.
ABC 7 will continue to monitor the situation in Juarez overnight. You can watch Good Morning El Paso for updates from 4:30 to 7 a.m. And we'll also have the latest on kvia.com.
Cancel that there. The scripture came to mind as I was watching this report here, that as we all know, the scripture states, shall there be evil in the city and the Lord hath not done it, right? This should be, when you see stories and reports like this, you should understand that we're drawing closer and closer to the end. You know, we as the house of Israel should have this understanding and should be praying, should be fasting, should be seeking the Lord, repenting, right? As the time draweth near, right? Because as the scriptures state, our salvation is close. Our salvation is closer now than when we first believed. Let's stay prepared, brothers. Shalom.